Hi everyone, welcome to Module 14, Managing Quality Improvement Teams and Projects. I'm Professor Yang, and this lecture is about how to build collaboration and leadership for continuous improvement. Whether you are fresh out of high school or balancing college with work, you are constantly involved in projects and teamwork, from group assignments and tackling big tasks at your job. This module is all about learning how to be a fantastic team member and a smart project manager. We are going to look at how businesses use teams to solve problems and how you can apply these skills to your own life. Getting good at these are key to your success in any career path you choose. By the end of the lecture, you will know how to manage projects, handle conflict, and be a truly effective collaborator. Here is our agenda for this lecture. We'll start with the introduction to teams and employee empowerment. We'll cover what is team actually is and why it's important to feel empowered in your work. Next, we'll discuss leading teams for quality improvement, focusing on the essential role and effective leadership styles. Then we'll move to the implementing teams, looking at how teams are formed and how they evolve and what ground rule make them work. After that, we'll cover the nuts and bolts of the managing and the controlling projects, which involve planning tools and scaling techniques. Finally, we'll wrap with the summary and key takeaways. Start with why teams even exist in the first place. Modern businesses are incredibly complex, involving multiple functions, technologies, and processes that no single person can manage alone. Teams bring together individuals with different skills, knowledge, and perspectives to tackle those challenges. And teams exist to combine collective strengths and achieve goals that will be impossible for individuals working in isolation. And now here is the important concept, knowledge work. This is the work that involves developing and sharing information and ideas. Knowledge work involves using the cognitive skills like problem solving, creativity, and critical thinking, while routine work consists of repetitive and well-defined tasks. Knowledge work is most effective when people have some autonomy and they are entrusted to make decisions and use their judgment. So what exactly is a team? It's a finite number of people who are united around a common purpose. They are working towards the same goal. Joseph Juran, one of the legends in quality management, emphasized that teams and projects are absolutely essential for continuous improvement. We cannot improve complex systems alone. We need a diverse perspective and collaborative efforts. Okay, let's talk about why people actually want to be part of teams. When teams work well, they satisfy some pretty fundamental human needs. First one is mutuality. That feeling of mutual support between team members and management. Imagine you are working in a retail shop and your manager has your back when a customer is being difficult. That's mutuality. Second is recognition. Good teams give you opportunities to achieve something and develop new skills. The third one is belonging. The desire to be part of a group that is supportive and friendly. Humans are social creatures. We want to feel like we are part of something bigger than ourselves. And the fourth one is the bounded power. You have the authority of certain resources and decisions, but you are also accountable for those choices. So it's like when you are trusted to manage your team's budget for a project. And finally, creative autonomy, the freedom to use your creativity and skills in positive environment. When you say, hey, what if we try this approach? And the people actually listen to your advice. That's when magic happens. Empowerment is the fuel for effective teams. It's giving the people the tools, the trust, and the authority to get the job done right. The key promises of empowerment include greater control over work and value ideas. This means your opinion actually counts. And the management commitment to quality and trust, which means the management truly believe in the team's ability to achieve high standards. And last but not least, rewards for the beneficial decisions. So in other words, success is always recognized and rewarded. But empowerment requires essential preconditions. First, we need clear authority. So employees need to know expectation and have control. And also everybody need to get involved in the planning stage. And the team member need to have access to data for the informed decision making. And also we need to have the responsibility with authority. This is the most crucial part. We must have the power to get things done to match our responsibilities. How do teams fit into a bigger organization? First, many organizations nowadays are flattened hierarchies. This means they are eliminating bureaucratic layers. And the goal here is to improve communication. And few managers means faster decisions. This shift makes stronger leadership essential. The team needs guidance and clear vision for success, teamwork, and participation. And it also means team reliance is high. Fewer management layer means the organization depends more on teams to handle daily operations and solve problems. Hersey, Blanchard, and Johnson propose a theory called the situational leadership model, which clarifies the interrelationship between the employee preparedness and effectiveness of the leadership. And this theory focuses on adjusting leadership style based on two factors, the leader's structure and the emotional support. And it's a consensus that strong leadership is essential for achieving teamwork. If an employee has a low readiness, we use a telling style. And we need to tell them exactly what to do. As readiness increases, we shift to selling, high structure, high emotional support, explaining why the task is important. Next is participating, low structure and high emotional support, where we support our effort and let them take the lead. Finally, for a highly ready employee, we use delegating. So it's a low structure and low emotional support. We can just simply hand off the task and trust the employee to execute. A great leader knows how to flex their style to meet the needs of the team members. Let us look at the well-being team's role, which shows us the successful team need a different type of people performing specific function at different stages. The table breaks team activity into 6 key stages. First, identifying needs. This is where a shaper and coordinator with strong goal awareness set the direction. Second, finding ideas, plan, and resource investigators generate creative solutions and gather information about what's possible. Third, formulating plans. Here we weigh options using experience and knowledge to turn ideas into feasible plans. Fourth, making contacts. Resource investigators become champions who persuade others and build support for the plan. And fifth, establishing the organization. Understands implementer turn these plans into actual procedure and routines that people can follow. And finally, following through. Completer and implementers ensure nothing falls through the cracks and everything gets executed properly. The key insight here is no one excels at all 6 stages, and the successful team needs the diversity of roles. When your team struggles, ask yourself, are we missing a critical function? Maybe you have a great idea generator but lack an implementer to execute, or vice versa. Understanding these roles help us appreciate what each team member contributes and recognize the different strengths matter at different times. Teams go through 5 distinct stages of development. First one is forming. This is the beginning. The team is composed and objectives are set. Everybody usually polite, but maybe a little bit reserved. Storming. This is often where conflicts may arise as members get to know each other. People starting asserting their ideas, and there can be friction over roles. This is actually a healthy, necessary step. And the third one is norming. The team moves past the conflict and start to develop a cohesive unit with trust and cooperation, and they figure out how to work together. And the fourth development is performing. This is the ideal stage. The team is mutually supportive and a steady state is achieved. They are focused and highly productive. And the last stage is mourning. This happens when the project ends. Members regret the ending of the project and team break up. And this is a natural emotional response to the loss of a strong working relationship. Okay, this might look like a lot of the ground rules, but actually they are game changer for team effectiveness. And let's hit the highlights. Test assumptions and share information. Don't assume you know what others are thinking. If somebody is quiet, they might have brilliant ideas, but they are too nervous to share, or they might be confused. You won't know unless you check. Focus on interests, be specific, and define terms. This prevents so many misunderstandings. When somebody said, we need to finish this soon, does soon mean today, this week, and this month? Please ask. Explain reasoning and open disagreement. Don't just state your opinions. Explain why you think that way, and create space for constructive disagreement. And the best solution often comes from the working through different viewpoints. Invite feedback and test solutions. Regularly check in and be willing to adjust. Maybe your brain plan has a fatal flaw somebody else can see. Address difficult issues and avoid distractions. Don't let elephants stay in the room, but also don't let the team get sidetracked discussing last night's TV show for 20 minutes. For participation and external communication, everyone should contribute, and we need to have clear communication with people outside our team as well. Decision by consensus. This doesn't mean everybody gets their first choice, but everyone can live with the decision we reach by consensus, and we committed to that. And finally, self-critique. Regularly reflect on how the team is functioning and make adjustments. And this is how good teams become great teams. Not all teams are created equal. Different situations require different structures. Here are the 6 essential team types. The first one is the process improvement team. They focus on local single department issues, and they are specialized and focus on refining existing processes. Cross-functional team combine team from multiple departments such as marketing, operations, finance to tackle complex problems. They bring diverse perspective for comprehensive solutions. Tiger teams, they are the high-powered, temporary, and urgent team assembled with top talent and significant authority to solve a critical time-limited crisis or project. Natural work groups are organized around a common output, product, or customer, such as closing shift staff or everyone handle a specific customer account. Self-directed work team not only propose improvement but also manage their own day-to-day operations with minimal supervision. They have a high degree of autonomy. Virtual team means members collaborate electronically across distance and rarely meet face-to-face. Success requires extra attention to formal communication. We might have sit through meetings that felt like a waste of time, but a good meeting management follows a clear structure. Start with 4 key steps. Define a clear agenda, develop a meeting objective, design an activity outline, and use structured process techniques to stay productive. The facilitation tool on the right side make this happen. Clarify technique ensure everyone understands and on the same page. Generate technique like brainstorming, round the ribbon, sticky notes help create ideas and get input from quieter members. Evaluate techniques like pros and cons and silent voting help assess ideas objectively without letting the loudest person dominate. Here's a pro tip. Use a parking lot for off-topic items. When someone reads something important but not relevant to today's meeting, add it to the parking lot list for future agendas. This respects their input while keeping the meeting focused. Conflicts are endemic to team projects, meaning they are naturally occurring and inevitable. The question is not whether we will have conflict, but how we will handle it. Common sources of conflict include disagreements over rewards, scarce resources, line of authorities, and functional differentiations when people from different roles see situations differently. For example, marketing department might want to promise fast delivery to boost sales, while operations knows warehouse can't handle it. They are not being difficult, they just have different priorities or perspectives. The key is to have structured conflict resolution processes, address conflicts earlier, focus on interests rather than positions, explore what each person needs and why, and seek a solution addressing everyone's core concerns. Remember, conflict can actually be productive if handled well. These different perspectives often lead to better solutions than any one person would think of alone. Aiming for collaboration to build the strongest outcome and long-term relationships. Now let's get into the practical tools that will help us actually manage projects effectively. Cost-benefit analysis help us determine if a project is worth doing. We calculate total costs by adding direct costs like material and labor plus the indirect costs like training time or temporary productivity losses. Then we figure out the payback period, which means how long until the benefit cover your cost. So the formula is total cost divided by the annualized benefits. Here's an important distinction. Soft costs are not easily recovered, like if we reduce the time for a task, but we don't actually cut staff and expenses. Hard costs are direct savings, like if we cancel a lease, sell unnecessary equipment, or reduce labor hours. Generally, business owners care more about hard costs because they directly impact the profit. Project charters are our project foundational document. They identify objectives, participants, expected benefits, and the reporting relationships, which mean who reports to whom and who has authority of what issues. Think of this as the contract that everyone needs to agree upfront. Force field analysis is a visual tool developed by Kirk Loon. We list the forces for and against the change we want to make. Then we score each force from 1 being the weakest to 5 being the strongest. This helps us visualize barriers and enablers. Don't try to push harder against the resistance. More often than not, it's more effective to reduce the opposing forces or strengthen the supporting forces. Let's talk about keeping projects on track. The following tools sound technical, but they are incredibly practical. Work breakdown structure breaks large project into manageable components. Instead of plan the campus event, we would like to break it into secure venue, arrange catering, promote event, coordinate volunteers, and day of logistics. This prevents forgotten tasks and reduces overwhelm. Activity network diagrams maps which tasks depend on others and identify the critical path. The sequence determines minimum completion time. They also show slack time, how much delay a task can handle without affecting the timeline. Critical path tasks have zero slack. Any delay affects the whole project. Multiple project management coordinates several simultaneous projects using control forms so that they don't compete for resources. These tools might seem like overkill for small projects, but they are essential for complex work and build valuable skills for bigger challenges ahead. Now it's time to bring everything together with key takeaways. Team foundation. Teams need true empowerment with clear authority, adequate information, and real decision-making power. Development process. Team progress through forming, storming, norming, performing, and mourning. Understanding this helps us be patient and address issues appropriately. Success factors, ground rules, the right team type, strong leadership are essential. Leaders inspire and guide, not just giving orders. Conflict management. Conflict will happen. Structural processes turn them into opportunities for better solutions. And last but not least, project control. A project charter, cost-benefit analysis, and network diagram prevents chaos and deliver results. As we wrap up our lecture on managing quality improvement, teams and project, I know we cover a lot, but the good news is that We don't need to master everything at once. Pick one or two concepts that resonate with you and try to apply them the next time you are working with others. And remember, great teamwork is a skill we build with practice, not something we are just born with. Everyone starts somewhere, and every team experience, even the challenging ones, teach us something valuable. So embrace the process, be patient with yourself and your teammates, and keep learning. If you have any question about the concept we covered in this lecture, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Thank you. Bye-bye.